Is Matt from Muscle Discord going to end up shooting himself in the foot with his little tantrum he's been throwing as of late? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Okay, I'm sure everybody's heard it by now. Matt Muscle Discord is throwing this tantrum. The latest, he's calling for, wants to put out a petition to have Bob Chicharillo fired as the MC for the Olympia. This all started with Bob Chicharillo as of recent, over Bob making his statement, his comments, giving his opinion on the previous Masters Olympia, where Matt feels that Phil Clahar got screwed out of a first place decision. What Bob said was right on point. Matt trying to defend Phil. He's a regular on Matt's channel. Went from the Masters Olympia, then he shifted it over to some things that Bob has said about Nick Walker of recent, and he wants him fired from his job. Like him or not, he does a damn good job as an MC. I personally don't like Bob. I made videos speaking out about some of the things that he said. That being said, I'm not calling for Bob to be fired. What this is all about with Matt, I said it before, his sole concern is to build this channel, which I don't blame him. I want to try to build my channel, but he will go do whatever he needs to do to accomplish those goals. He's basically taken the Nick Trigili approach to his channel. He's relying on being very sensational to grow the channel. We saw what happened with Nick Trigili. You're pushing him. Although I would call him a bland version of Nick Trigili. He's pushing it just enough, but he's holding back a little so he doesn't cross that line. He doesn't want to get in trouble with YouTube. But you're ruffling a lot of feathers along the way. You know what? This is not about Phil Clahar and the robbery against him. This is not about defending the bodybuilders that Bob Chick said things about. This is about doing whatever you can, grabbing hold of whatever you can to be sensational, to garner more views. Your issues with Bob. First off, everything he said about the Masters Olympia, he was spot on. Go to Bob's channel and listen to what he said. He did an interview, EP09, on his channel. Go there and listen to it. He was spot on. Matt was still butthurt from things that Bob Chicharillo said over a year ago when he was on Matt's channel. He had him on there, and the topic was Phil Clahar and his placing at, it was a Tampa Pro. He had placed dead last. Matt's argument was that, and before Bob was on the show, he was arguing. His whole argument was that Phil Clahar did not get a fair looking over. He was the third call out. He should have been the first call out. Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. So when he had Bob on his show, that was the talk of the show. Bob put him on the spot. Well, why did he deserve a first call? He ended up placing dead last. By the way, he didn't even return for finals. After prejudging, he never came back. Bob's like, what made you think he deserved the first call out? Obviously, the judges didn't see enough of him, see enough in him to bring him out for that first call out. They brought him out in the third call out. Matt just kept on saying, well, it's my opinion, that's the way I feel. After being pressed enough, he finally came out with, well, based on his previous placing, which was the Tampa Pro the previous year, which he won, I think he should have got a first call out. Well, that has nothing to do with the show that you are on stage for at that moment. What you look like last year has no bearing on what you look like at that moment. And Bob tore into him, really laid it into him. Matt was extremely butthurt. He never got over this. And now he's trying to use the sensationalistic approach and go after Bob again. And if your problem with Bob, I don't agree with some things that Bob said. When Bob said a few months back that he'll be calling Nick Walker for 8th place, I think being the MC of the Olympia, that's out of place. He should not be. You can be critical, you can critique, but there should also be a line that you don't cross in your position. I do agree with that. But at the end of the day, if nobody says anything to Bob, he's going to do it. He's going to keep on doing it. So instead of directing your anger at Bob and calling for the removal of Bob, putting out this petition to have him fired as MC, I would take that energy, I would direct it to Jim Mannion, Tyler Mannion, maybe Jake Wood, Dan Solomon. The Mannions are the IFBB. Jake and Dan are the Olympia. They're not saying anything to Bob about the way he's expressing himself while he is still the MC of their show. I guarantee you, if they would, any one of them would come up to Bob and say, listen, as long as you are emceeing our shows, you can have your opinions, but for the sake of professionalism, we're going to have to draw a line someplace, and you're not going to be able to cross that line while you are working for us, which is he is, whether it's officially working for their company or he's an independent contractor, you're still representing the brand. But they're not saying nothing, and if they would approach him, I guarantee you would stop at the drop of a dime. So instead of directing your anger at Bob, once again, I'm not a big fan of Bob, your anger is directed in the wrong direction. And once again, you're just doing whatever you can grabbing for anything you can to be as sensational as you can without stepping over that line, to draw views, subscribers, grow your channel without any concern of anybody else. It's really all about you. This could end up really backfiring on you. You're burning bridges. You're hooking up with people. Then a tremendous amount of tension is building up, and you're leaving everybody with a bad taste in their mouth. You had the Matt and Mac show, Mac Truck, about a year and a half ago. It seemed like it was going good for a while, and then there was a problem. There was a falling out, and according to Mac Truck, it had to do with you and your approach to things, the way things you were saying, and that led to the falling out between the two of you. There was somebody else back then around that same time, maybe right after Mac or before Mac, and there was also a falling out. Mac, I wouldn't say, is one of the bigger names in the industry, but and bodybuilding in general, I mean, he does compete as a bodybuilder. I think I put him more under the category of influencer right now. But of recent, you have Ron Harris as a regular on your show. And when Ron Harris was on with Phil Clahar and you brought up this Masters Olympia situation, you put Ron in a very awkward situation. Instead of just asking him to express his opinion and what he thought about the whole thing, which would have been the right way to go about it, you put him in a position where you were pressing him to simply defend or take yours and Phil Clahar's position on this. And you could see the awkwardness, the tension in Ron's face and his eyes. What happens? He decides that he's not going to do the show anymore with you. It's his prerogative. And he even made a video talking about it. And he expressed the reason why was because he wanted to, and he felt he should be devoting all his energy to his own YouTube, building that up. I don't quite buy that totally. I think you're the one that pushed him out. But he went on to say some nice things about you anyway. He didn't badmouth you whatsoever. But what did you do in your first video after Ron Harris left? You threw him under the bus. I mean, that's a really fucked up thing to do. You don't give a shit. Like I said before, it's all about you. You do what you feel you need to do to build your channel with disregard for anybody else. And you have Chris Cormier still with you. I saw a video just today, the most recent Real Deal podcast. My bet is that very soon we're going to see Chris Cormier step away and there won't be any more Real Deal podcast on Muscle Discord. What's going to happen? Chris decides he doesn't want any part of your sensationalism, and he doesn't want to be involved with this, and he steps away. Are you going to start trashing Chris Cormier also? Are you going to try to throw him under the bus? I think slowly but surely, you're digging yourself a grave, so to speak. I could be wrong on this. This is my take on this, the way I see it. You can agree or disagree with anything I've said in this video. Either way, let me know in the comments section. This is Michael Diamond. I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.